Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, real estate fans, avid listeners alike, and great, splendid people on your way to church this Sunday morning. Thanks so very much for tuning in. My name is Erik Hatch, your host for today. You're listening to Real Estate Radio on KFGO, and I am happy to be a realtor with Hatch Realty. We're located at 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo. So if you ever want the opportunity to see us, to find us, to stop by, to say hi, if you're at Dwayne's House of Pizza, it's kitty corner and just a block down the street. So please, when you come to visit, I'll take a large pepperoni and I'll be happy to see you and get you a house. Now, at the top of the hour, it's imperative to always refresh ourselves of where we've been. I had somebody post on my Facebook wall and they said this: Erik, I hear that you're talking that it's right now a seller's market, but the week prior you said, or the month prior you said, it's a great time to buy a home. He then went on to say that his old economic professor is in his head and his head is ready to explode because it feels contradictory. It feels like it can't be both a buyer's market and a seller's market. So I want to give some clarification to that here at the top of the hour. Truth be told is that in the price range of under $300,000, it is certainly a seller's market. However, I still think it's a phenomenal time to buy a house. And the reason being is interest rates are at historic lows and they're on the way up. So the longer you wait, the longer you sit to purchase a property, really you're going to find yourself spending more because of interest rates. Also, I think our market around here is fairly predictable, meaning the average house appreciates, according to the National Association of Realtors in the United States, the average house appreciates 4.22% per year. Now, if you live in Phoenix, Arizona, or if you live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, you're going to ride the roller coaster going up, going down with house values. But around the Fargo-Moorhead metro, it's fairly predictable. We've had in the last 15 years 1 year of depreciation, and that was in 2011. Get this, hold on to your hats. Houses depreciated 1.25% in 2011. Otherwise, we see values continually go up. And so I would say to the buyers out there, you know that you're buying something that's quality. And in fact, we're going to speak with my friend Andrew here a little later in today's show, where we're going to talk about why young people are choosing to stay in Fargo and why I think Fargo's economy and community is going to be stronger and better than it ever has been. So for sellers out there, guess what? It's a seller's market. You can get top dollar. But for buyers, your opportunity is there right now to take advantage of this market. So let's talk these specifics for your individual situation. 701-369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com to find out what your home is worth. But first things first, let's find out what's happening with real estate news this week. All right, friends, in studio with us for the 9th time. I don't know how many times it's been now, but we have the wonderful Brent Tollefson of the Carpet Garage. So good morning, Brent.
Good morning, Erik. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, man. Brent, I love flooring, and I know that sounds ridiculous. It's a foolish thing for me to say that I simply love flooring, but it's like the most underestimated piece of a house. I think when people are going into a home, oftentimes you talk about the decor. I want to talk about the flooring today. Why is flooring sexy, Mr. Brent Tollefson?
Oh my gosh. Well, there's so many different sexy things about flooring. There's a lot of things that can really build value into a house, and a lot of people don't realize that. From hardwood to ceramic tile, it can really make a home one of a kind, and it really can build big dollars into your house.
And it can also ruin a house, right?
It absolutely can. You can make a wrong decision. A lot of people, unfortunately, want to buy some things that they probably shouldn't. I always say you get what you pay for in this world.
Okay, so you're talking about that inexpensive, I won't say cheap because that's a bit degrading. We'll say inexpensive cut corners type of flooring, right?
Don't do it. Absolutely.
Okay, what's the wrong choice?
Well, I mean, when it comes to carpet in general, I mean, you do want to spend the appropriate amount, which I guess it can be different for everyone, but middle to high end, you will get what you pay for.
Okay, and one of the things that isn't talked about all that often is certainly the carpet pad, right? I had the Carpet Garage and Mr. Brent Tollefson take care of my house, not only the house that I purchased, but I've done a couple of other investment things, and they're always the people I call. But in my basement, Brent, there's this carpet that is pillowy and wonderful and airy, and it's not just the carpet, is it?
No, absolutely not. You're exactly right. Pad makes the carpet. You think of a pad as like a spring. So when you walk on the pad or your carpet, your weight's being absorbed by that pad. So pad is something that's hidden, but it is a really hidden gem, actually.
One of the things in my basement, and people are always fearful of even putting carpet pads in a basement, right?
Oh, don't be afraid of that. You definitely want that spring, that softness feel. I know people are scared of moisture around here, but you definitely have to have that pad to make sure your carpet wears to the appropriate amount.
I hear that, but there's a new pad, isn't there, that's like moisture repellent?
There definitely is. There's spill guards on most of the high-end pads these days. Obviously, if we still get a flood, we're going to be out of luck.
Of course,
but
yeah. If it sits underwater for a long time, we're in trouble.
Most things, right?
But is that preventing pets from their urine sinking through?
Absolutely. I definitely have it in my house, and you do as well, whether you know it or not. But spill guard on top.
I love that you're like, I'm an uneducated consumer. And you're exactly right. Again, in studio with us, Brent Tollefson of the Carpet Garage, calling me out for not knowing what's in my house. But I was aware, actually, that my carpet pad has the preventative, what is it again?
We call it a spill guard, and it's also treated with antimicrobial, so it will fight mold, mildew, allergies. We also like to say kids and pets. So.
Okay. Thank you for understanding my life and my dog and my daughter, and I'm probably the one that spills the most.
Oh, we definitely know that.
Yeah. Brent, what's trendy right now, and why is that a good thing, and why is that a bad thing? Now, and I want to preface this before you jump in. When you say trendy, it could mean that tomorrow it's outdated.
You definitely can say that. Vinyl plank is the hot right now.
What in the world is vinyl plank?
Okay, so 90s, 2000s, in kitchens and dining rooms, laminate was going everywhere. Mm-hmm. Laminate's fantastic. Product is still around, but the one downfall of laminate is it's not waterproof. Okay. So vinyl plank, you can glue it down, or they even make some click together stuff, which we do the best with. We have a lot of DIY customers, do-it-yourself customers, and you can really do that yourself. But it just clicks together. It's 100% waterproof, and it just looks dynamite.
So it's like a floating floor, right? You're not having to nail it down. You said you can glue it, but you don't need to?
Correct. Well, there's two different types, but the one that clicks together is 100% floating floor. A particular product out there called Core-Tech, I actually just put in my in-laws' place, and if there's one product or one home in the Fargo-Moorhead area that I don't have issues with, it's my in-laws' house. So.
Wow, I feel like you both complimented them and threw them under the bus at the same time.
Same exact time, absolutely.
Brent, you're spot on, though, is that you want to find something that's going to be long-lasting, that's going to be durable, that's going to look sharp. Why is this the end product? Is it simply durability? Is it price? What's the draw?
It's definitely the total package. I mean, it's practical first and foremost. I mean, scratches, dents, and you don't have to worry about moisture. A lot of people can do it themselves, which is huge in our area. Installation, we can provide installation. We can help you out with that process, but you can save some money if you can do it yourself. So there's a lot of handy people out there that want to do things themselves.
Brent, I am not that handy person who likes to do things myself.
That makes two of us.
I like to call on you every time. So in order to do so, if I want you to come out and we want to talk about this vinyl plank or anything else, how can we get in touch with you?
Please give me a call. I'm at the Dilworth Carpet Garage on 1400 Center Avenue in Dilworth, right next to the Pizza Ranch. You can give me a call. Yeah, Pizza Ranch, right?
Yeah, you had me at Pizza Ranch. Yeah.
Our phone number is 218-422-9000. You can give us a call. We can set you up with, we can get a home measure, and we can start the process.
I love it. Brent Tollefson with Carpet Garage. You're going to continue to be a regular guest here because you bring some great information. Thank you so much. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, go to livefargomoorhead.com. Check out some of these houses on today's market, and we'll be right back. This is Real Estate Radio. All right, friends, in studio with us, I have the wonderful and debonair, just back from overseas, Mr. Andrew Young. So good morning, Andrew.
Morning, Eric. Great to be back.
Andrew, for our listeners out there, where have you been? Where in the world is Andrew Young in the last year?
So last year, like you said, I resigned from my position where I was working, and I took the year just to travel abroad. So I based myself in New Zealand. Traveled in Australia, New Zealand, and all around Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. Great year. Jealousy is overflowing as you're saying that. How was the year? How was the experience? Oh, it was phenomenal. You know, it's really, really great to be in Fargo, but to be able to take a step out and really experience and see the world and all the different cultures and different types of people.
Now, one of the most interesting things with this, Andrew, is that you're not somebody who's 70 years old and just deciding now to experience the world. You wanted to experience the world at a young age. For the people listening, how old are you? Where are you from? What's your story and background?
So last March, I turned 25. I grew up in Napoleon, North Dakota. And that's exactly right. I wanted to be able to travel the world while I could still be extremely active. I actually just took a backpack with me. I didn't take any more than that.
Oh my
and, stayed in hostels, camped. Of course, in New Zealand, rented a house. But I wanted to be able to really get around and really experience the deep parts of these countries that are not easily accessible.
And you worked, though, when you were going, right? You had some things keeping you employed. What is it that you do? What's your background?
Yeah, so I went to North Dakota State University where I studied TV broadcast, go Bison, and management communications. And I've been lucky enough to have some really great experiences that have given me a skill set to be able to work from wherever. So I was doing a lot of freelance work in the States. I was doing some freelance work in New Zealand. And I was able to stay employed and to pay for the trip.
Fascinating to hear of somebody who has broadcast journalism and figuring out how to produce things on TV. What have you done at your ripe young age, Andrew?
Yeah, so at North Dakota State University, I was pretty lucky to get some really great opportunities. So I was able to help start the TV station on campus at NDSU. And from there, I was able to go intern at ABC Network News in New York City, where I later held a position for a couple months. And then I moved to Los Angeles to work in entertainment. I helped produce a country music award show.
You passively say that, but for those of you who weren't listening intently enough, Andrew interned for Diane Sawyer and then interned for the Country Music Awards and just turned 25. So again, in studio with us, the fascinating Andrew Young, who is now back in Fargo after a year of traveling abroad. Andrew, what's the next step? What's the plan?
Yeah, the next step is hopefully making something in Fargo work permanently. It's always a common thing wherever I travel to, whether it's New York City, whether it's Los Angeles, whether it's Nashville, whether it's New Zealand. One thing is always common. I always want to get back to Fargo. I always enjoy the experience while I'm there. I do as much as I can. I see as much as I can. I meet as many people as I can. But as soon as the day hits where the plane ride is set to come back, I'm game. I'm ready.
You are not in the minority anymore. Fargo is a place that people have maybe ran from in the past. I grew up in Fargo, and staying in Fargo was a bit cliche. Not many people did it, but now there's this young generation and we're not that far apart in age, but there's this young generation of people who are saying Fargo's where I want to make a living. They may be overtly talented and specialized to boot, but they're choosing to stay in Fargo. So my question, Andrew, is there opportunity for you as a young professional with a very specific skill set in a town like this?
Absolutely. Fargo in the last 5-10 years has created itself as a recruiting powerhouse. I mean, when I think of Fargo, when I think of all the places I've been in the world, Fargo really has everything. Whether you're 60 years old and just retired, or whether you're 23 years old and just graduated college, Fargo has It has shows, it has music, it has art, it has retirement homes, it has malls, it has shopping places, it has everything. Mm-hmm. You can keep yourself entertained, and you can find a position, and you can find a job that works for you. And if you can't, Fargo is a place where you can create opportunity.
So what it boils down to, Andrew, and why this ties into real estate radio, is knowing the future of the economy is imperative. And I believe that our economy is going to continue to get stronger because of young people like you who are going to bring jobs, bring value, and are not running from this place, instead running towards this place. You shared with me off air that there's some professionals that you know about your age that are choosing to stay in Fargo as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, I've only been back for a couple days, but last night I had a reunion with a lot of my friends at a social event. And
you were at the bar.
Social event, the bar. I guess if you're saying it, I'm not. But, my friends, who are my age or even younger, of course, I was catching up with them last year. I didn't have a lot of contact being abroad. And I could not believe how many of my friends are either new homeowners or are planning to buy a home in the next 6 months, in the next year. It's absolutely incredible. It's just a huge, huge number of millennials, of people my age, 25 or younger, hoping to buy a home or get in a home is very, very soon.
So for those of you out there who've maybe wondered what's the strength of the economy, what's the future going to hold in Fargo, it's a bright future, Andrew, and you're a big part of that. Any closing thoughts or words before we wrap up?
It's just great to be back, Eric, and always see your beautiful face.
God bless your blurry vision, man. It's so good to have you here. Andrew Young, you are fascinating. Anybody out there who needs to hire somebody, I would give this guy a call. He is dynamite and talented. So reach out to me. You can connect with Andrew or myself at 369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com. Hey, everyone. We are almost out of time. Thanks so much for tuning in. But before we wrap up, I do want to close with a couple of final thoughts. The first is this. If you haven't done so yet, go to livefargomoorhead.com. Spend a little time on our website. The most important thing I think you can do on that site is find out what your home is worth. It's really important that you know and you dig in to figure out what your home is worth in today's market. Now, this is a computer algorithm of sorts, and so it gives us a broad stroke. It gives us a rough estimate. But if we want to find out the nitty-gritty of the features that you have in your house, the finishes, the number of rooms, the intrinsic value that you have, I think it's really important that you reach out to us as well. But the first step is go to livefargomoorhead.com. The second thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is I'd love to have the opportunity to interview to earn your business. If you're thinking about buying or selling, I'm not assuming that I have your business. In fact, I don't want to assume that at all. Rather, I want to interview to earn your business. I want to show you how I think my team and I can hopefully position you to make the most money in the shortest amount of time if you're selling, or to get a big old deal if you're buying. And so if you want that opportunity, give us the chance to interview, and the best way to do so is to connect with us. 701-369-4839 is our number, or as always, go to livefargomoorhead.com. It has been a fabulous day this morning. I'm so thankful for Brent and for Andrew joining us on air. If you need to get in touch with them, get in touch with me. One last time, 369-4839 or livefargomoorhead.com. And that's it. Thanks so very much for listening to Real Estate Radio this morning. I've been your host, Erik Hatch of Hatch Realty on the Mighty 790 KFGO.